All right, Jack, I think I made it. I was close. I was very close. How's it going? Nope. With sound? I hope it has sound. I was nervous before. It wasn't really showing up with the preview. But I have this microphone and I should have testing this other microphone as well. All right, let's just make sure the sound is working on all of my little scenarios here. So this is me, this is the laser. I think this thing stopped tracking me. Should still have sound on that. Let's see if I can figure out why this stopped tracking. Normal track. There she goes. All right. Camera 1, camera 2, camera 3. So this is our LightBurn camera. So we got our laser, got me, and we have our screen. So the only thing I wasn't able to do was actually fire up my laser. But it seems to be homing just fine. So we're going to let that home, and we'll start working on a design. That weird side noise is probably the laser. Let me try this. Did that side noise kind of die off a little bit? It's the fan on my laser, I believe. Now I could try. Last time I was able to work with the mono laser or the mono microphone, but yeah, that's going to be the. I have not cleaned out my laser in a little bit, and actually, let me just check something. Oh. Alright, so this webcam. There we go. This one. I'll just leave that there for now. Yeah, it's probably the fan on my laser. So I've got one of these little dust cannons. So I'm just going to use this to clean up the fins and the soot. Actually, I haven't cleaned this out in a little bit. Might as well do a little maintenance before we begin. How's everybody doing this evening? Oh yeah, that's a little bad. Alright, get that cleaned out, and then just reattach that module with our little kickstand down. Get our height. Perfect. All right, we should be good to go. So the hot gun you're using, are you just using a, is it a electric heat gun, or is it actually fire? Oh, there's still a weird noise in here. Let's see. Maybe that's the something that says enable down mixing. I'm not sure what that means. Maybe that's a little clearer. All right, here we go. Hopefully that's a little bit better. If not, I can always hook up my other microphone. Yeah, so I'm wondering if you're using a torch or if you're just using a hot gun. You can use, yeah, you can use a vacuum chamber if you have one, but I know not everybody has one. Sometimes I noticed that my electric heat gun was not actually getting hot enough, so I had to actually go to a like a MAP gas or one of those small little propane torches. Hmm. All right, so you're laser engraving details through wood. How dry is your wood? Like, so if there's moisture in the wood, that could be what's bubbling up through. It may not just be the resin. It might be the wood um, has some of that off gassing. June 20th. Ooh, that's the end of next month. Oh, so it's, yeah, see, there's, with this 3 mil ply, I mean, you don't know what was in these layers and everything. Yeah, and that's a good point too, Jack's giving you. If you didn't seal the wood first, so I would engrave it and then seal it. Oh shoot, you're trying everything we already were suggesting here. Um, that's a good question. I may have to look that up to see if I can figure out any other solution that there could be. Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. Let's see. So, how deep is your engraving? How much epoxy? Well, I guess it's 3 mil. I mean, even if you're going halfway through, that's only 1.5 mil. That's hardly anything. All right, I'm just gonna ask the computer to see if the computer knows. Because pouring too much epoxy too fast, trapping air in tiny corners. Oh, yeah, I have seen other people recommend that you take a small brush and brush all the corners, like with a small paintbrush. So you take the epoxy, you paint that all in there to try to make sure you get the corners and everything, so there is no bubbles. Let's see. This says laser burn leaves soot and oils inside the pocket. Use air compressed air, soft brush, isopropyl alcohol wipe. If you skip this, bubbles cling to the char like a cat to a cardboard box. Seal the wood first. We've already suggested that. You're already doing that. Warm the epoxy bottles before mixing. Cold epoxy equals... Wait, cold epoxy, thick epoxy, trap bubbles. Put the bottle in a warm water for 5 to 10 minutes. Not boiling hot, just warm. So you want it like syrup, not hot lava. Mix slow. Bubbles are self-inflicted during mixing. Do not whip like pancake batter. Use a syringe or fine tip bottle for shallow engravings on 3 millimeter. Syringes work amazingly well. Condiment bottles are also recommended. Overfill slightly but barely. People flood engravings, then torch the life out of them. Bad idea with thin wood. Just slightly crown the fill above the surface level. Kill bubbles with heat. Best tools: small butane torch, embossing heat gun, mini heat gun, quick passes only. If you hover, plywood warps. Epoxy yellows, bubbles out somehow multiply. Alright, this says mist with alcohol. For tiny surface bubbles, 91% isopropyl alcohol in a fine mister. One light pass. This helps keep surface tension, breaks, and pops micro bubbles. Vacuum trick for stubborn woods. I don't think you have a stubborn wood, though. This says you can use UV resin for tiny fills, Star Bond black medium, CA glue, and acrylic paint fill. No, that's not helpful. Well, those are definitely some different recommendations than what I originally gave, so hopefully something there. Yeah. Sometimes the internet comes in through for a win. IPA. I remember saying IPA. I said CA glue, not IPA. You're already on the beer, man. All right, let's get down to working on a design for today, though. Oop, not. I don't want to see that. It's my chat window. All right, so we're gonna try to do a motorcycle design. Good.
Okay, you're gonna grab it.
Goodbye. All right, I like to start with 1,000 by 1,000. Let's see if we can grab our elements. Let's see, got our gear. Wrench. Motorcycle. I like using graphics opposed to pictures. Actually, here, I like this one here. Oh yeah, sorry. I can go back to what I was reading off here. Where'd I put it? Here we go. Fill resin and spray UV resin. There were 9 tricks that this thing had. So let me go back. So clean the surface, seal the wood, which we talked about, warm the epoxy. I'm not sure if you're doing that, but that would be a good trick to have. Slow your mixing, use a syringe and a fine tip bottle, overfill, kill the bubbles with heat, mist with alcohol. So yeah, it says for tiny surface bubbles, use 91% isopropyl alcohol and a fine mister. And just one light mist, it helps the surface tension break and pops the micro bubbles. Too much will give you a cloudy finish. So it just has to be a very fine mist. I would be leery about getting one of those squirt bottles from the dollar store. You actually need a misting style. But I could post this. Let me see here. Actually, I'll go over to the school community right now and I'll just post. School will be offline for 2 hours starting at 9 p.m. May 24th. Alright, well, we'll be off by 9. Let's see. So I'm going to. Oh, you do have misting bottles? I do not. I'm going to copy this whole entire thing. We're going to call this removing bubbles from epoxy. Notes. Um, Category, general discussion, machine maintenance. I'm going to put that under materials and finishing. Perfect. All right, so that note, everything I just read off, I put in the school community so you can check that out and go over all those tips, and hopefully one of those suggestions will fix the issue. So let's see, let's get back to this design here. Ooh, I kind of like this. Our motorcycle Christmas ornament, Father's Day ornament, or however you want to use it. Kind of want. I like the idea of these mountains. Kind of wanted some trees too, though. Oh, look at that. You say trees and they're right there. Alright, so we got 4 different backgrounds. A couple of different motorcycles. We can make something good out of all this, I hope. Just love all of the stock images that are on Canva. They really help. Okay, let's call this motor design. Just download this, and I am a pro member, so I can download as an SVG, but if you wanted to, you could also download that as a PNG or just a bitmap and then pull it over and trace that image. All right, I haven't had to use a mister on my 3D printer yet. Okay, so let's see. So we've got our design. Drop that in, and let's just start editing. For the 3D printing, no, I use Fusion 360 along with the slicer I use is Orca Slicer because that allows me to get time lapses and stuff like that. But honestly, I really haven't been designing much with a 3D printer yet. I'm planning on doing some more fixtures for my wall here. You can see I've continued that wall all the way back. So my thought process was I was going to put fixtures for the CNC machine and all that. For the laser, yeah, I use LightBurn. So this is LightBurn software. It did upgrade me to 2.0, but I have not played with any of these new features yet. So I will have to work on that. I haven't used Blender. I used Blender a little bit years ago, but I did not care for it, so I just went back to Fusion 360. All right, let's see which motorcycle looks the best here. So I don't really like this one already. Kind of like this one. But I'm not sure how this would work with the fill. All right, well that looks pretty good with the fill. You made a video game? What was your video game about? First person shooter. It's pretty slick, man. I don't know if I'd have the time to work on that. Or not the time, but the patience. Yeah, a buddy of mine, he uses his 3D goggles to do 3D modeling and stuff like that. I don't know, that's a little bit beyond my wheelhouse. All right, let's see here. Oop, bringing that up. All right, let's just close this thing. All right. Well, Jack knows, but yeah, the main reason I'm looking at this motorcycle design is because I've been getting out on the motorcycle more recently, and I've been enjoying it. Nick and I have been getting out, trying to go out at least once a week. Um, obviously some weekends we can't, but for the most part, we've been scoping out some local places, hitting the keys and things like that, and it's been working out well. I saw the live stream you putting together that 3D printer. I was hoping I could see actually like you was doing something off of it, but I was only on for maybe a half an hour, and it was more of like the unboxing and the bolting together. What manufacturer was it? Snapmaker. Yeah, I remember looking it up, and it was a pretty penny for that. And you bought that, right? Or was that sent to you? What have you printed out with it? Are you serious? Come on, you haven't had them send you anything? Well, the stuff I'm getting isn't great, but they sent me the CNC machine, and I've gotten about one, two, got about three lasers. Oh, dude, we gotta chat. I'll tell you how you get the stuff. Simple requests, clear. Oh, you done light boxes, like for sketching? Yeah, I haven't designed any of the multicolor prints yet. But I've been printing out a lot of the ones that I've found. Let's see. So I do. This is too much going on right here, so I'm gonna break this up a little bit. I'm just gonna have a. Just gonna take this outside actually. Let's ungroup this. I wonder if I even. You know what? Let's skip the multi. Let's just do one. All right, so we'll have print this out twice. This will be on the background. And maybe on another layer, we'll put the motorcycle. Let's see, that's going to be covered and that's going to be covered. All right, let's see what else we grabbed here. Born to Ride. Kind of like this motorcycles one. Oop. See if I can grab it all. And let's group this together. that a little bit smaller. Yeah, this is the design I'm working on for multi-layers. So I'm thinking right now I'm gonna do the background layer. The background layer is going to just be the gear with this. So let's actually just copy this right now. Control D for duplicate. All right, so this is going to be one layer. Delete that. And then on the next layer, maybe kind of want this to have like a circle or something around it. Maybe a polygon? Oh, an octagon? So we can do an octagon just around the motorcycle. Oop. Delete, escape. Just select these. We're going to align this. So now I'm just going to hit Control D and duplicate. This is the way that I do multi-layer. I don't know how you guys do it. So now I just want to take these two lines out. So I'm just actually just going to cut these out. So there we go. That's the best way to do it. We're going to delete this. Oh, sure. Yeah, it's not terribly difficult. And actually, I like the way that I did that octagon because it kind of matches up with these two gears here. So then we're going to have the motorcycle there. And now the only thing we have to think about is we're going to cover. So let's undo this. So we're going to cover that wheel a little bit over here. So let's get rid of this octagon because we don't need that anymore. But what I'm going to do is this blue here, I'm going to unselect. And I'm just going to grab this outermost tracing. And I'm going to do an offset. And I only want to do outward. I just want to bump this up a little bit so it'll be able to glue on, but not too much where it's too much. So we're going to click OK. Oop. That was my mistake because I left the delete the original. So we're going to do offset again. Delete original. Click OK. Put this on the black layer. Oop, actually, let's grab both of these. Group those together. And weld that together. And then that should be fine. So basically, we have layer 1, Like the back is, this is layer 1, this is layer 2, and this is the top layer, layer 3. And then on the middle, actually, the only thing I'm going to do different is I'm going to add the little place for the string. So we can make this 0.5. And we just want to right click and then lock this into place so we can vertically align without messing anything else up. Holding shift, we should be able to go down. And again, we do the offset, but this time the offset, we're going to go inward. And we're just going to, that should be fine. And then all we have to do is, oops, group these two together. And we should be able to yep. Oh, I locked it. I gotta unlock it. Now I can cut all these things. Actually, perfect. Okay, just check this here. So this is, if I do that as a fill. Ooh, that looks nice as a fill too. Delete all that. Group this together. Group this together. And group this together. Actually, doesn't matter if this is on blue or, let me check my, got a nice handy cutting field, so, or engraving field. So let's see, we're gonna do 7,000 at 70%. Or actually, we could do 6,000 at 60%. 60, 60. The size, 4 by 4. 4 inches by 4 inches. So it's not terribly small, but it's not terribly large either way. I found that that is a decent size. Anywhere like from 3 to 4 inches on ornaments, people are happy with. Anything bigger is just too much, and smaller gets into issues when you're cutting things out. So let's see, we're going to do 70% at 700. Still having problems with my power supply, so it still cuts out. But nothing I can do right now to help with that. I'm going to just put my framing. So I am cutting this on 11 3/4 by 11 3/4. I gotta change this. This is not a whiz maker. This is the longer B1. All right, it's gonna get a little loud. I gotta turn the laser back on. All right, let's do a little preview. Oop. So it's gonna take about 13 minutes. And I've already realized one of my mistakes, which is always nice to realize your mistakes before you actually turn the machine on. I have to delete that because this is the backlit. So this is 1, 2, and 3, and you're only going to have the up on the first. And the only other thing I like to do is change my cutting order. I like to have my cutting at the very end. So I'm just going to frame this out. So the bottom is okay. Wrong way. Okay, I think we are good to go. So I am going to do start. And let me change this to the laser so we should be able to zoom in too. Let's see here. Oh yeah, look at all the controls I got here. All right. So while that goes, I think I'm just going to grab a soda real quick and answer any of the questions we may get. And yes, Jack, it is a soda. Got a football game to go to tonight. My son is playing his first game. Well, not first game, but first game of this season. Game starts at 7. So once this is cut, I think I may call it an early night. I know usually I try to go 6 to. I might paint it, but actually, I probably won't paint it actually because I'm having it engrave everything. I might stain 1 or 2 layers just to give it a little contrast. Hmm. Actually, I think I had stained here. But this is an example of the layers that I had stained for a multi-layer. And it's all out of the same wood. It's just each layer is stained differently. So it gives it nice depth. But this is 7 layers, I believe. The glue up on that. But I should have stained it. where I lose my head. I don't remember where I put. I know I did stain a piece. Maybe I put it outside. But this is also one that I use those paint markers, paint pens for. But this is neat because it's just a nice little welcome sign that you can put out there. And careful enough. Which sometimes I'm not. There we go. This one's a little tight because I made this design very large. But this comes out because of the little pocket that I put in there. So this is 3 layers. And this is the insert layer. And then this little insert just goes into this pocket. And then you can put Merry Christmas or a Happy Father's Day or any other holiday that you want to acknowledge. I'll probably be doing one of those inserts for 4th of July coming up. I should make one for Sorry, but we're out on the motorcycle. Oh, I see that post you put out there, Jack. How did you make those light boxes? When you said light box, I thought you meant like a stenciling light box. That is slick. I like the one with your design on it. Did you use the what's that company? Oh, why can't I think of it? Maker World? Is that what you used? Wow, that is really slick. Oh, I didn't notice that they have an ornament maker too. Oh, there it is, light box maker. I got to get on there. Yeah, I'll probably use Maker Lab. I messed around with it a little bit before I got my 3D printer. So, and that 3D printer, they sent me that for free. I didn't have to buy that. So if you really want to know how to score items for free from companies, let me know. Just shoot me a message and I'll tell you how you do that. Because I don't have the funds to be buying all these toys that I'm getting recently. And one of the new toys, which I'm super excited for since I'm in Florida and it's hot, is an air conditioner, a portable 14,000 BTU air conditioner for the garage. They're sending that. I should have that hopefully this weekend so I could do it this holiday weekend. Um, that snap maker that you have, is that so it's 4 colors? Is it 4 different print heads or is it one print head that changes the colors? Because the one I have is a Wonder Maker ZR, and that's one print head, but it's got 4. Oh, see, that's a cleaner one. Mine's a little well, yeah. I think that machine that you got is $1,000 too. The one I've got is like 400. But that's a slicker setup. So how fast? Yeah, that's the problem I've got is every time it does the color change, it's dropping all those little nuggets everywhere. I was even in Creality has a filament recycler where it blends it up. Nice. But they want $1,000 just for that machine, where you can recycle that, all those droppings and everything. Maybe I should get my fan going. How long did it take you to print one of those light boxes? That's not bad at all. 4 hours? I guess the most time consuming is actually the box, not the logo. I'll have to throw my logo in there and see how long it'll tell me it'll take. Let me see. Right now, a kid got me this for Christmas. Nice Temu purchase, or I don't know where she got it from, but that's been my little shop sign for right now. Five printed in 10 hours. Ooh, yeah, mine would probably be that long. Well, I'd probably waste a lot of the filament because it would have to extrude everything. Sounds like it might be raining. Okay, I'll have to check that out. Is that on your YouTube channel? All right. Yeah, I did see the video of you doing the unboxing, but fortunately, I can't spend as much time as I'd like to on YouTube. But I'll have to get over there and check that out. It's definitely something I want to try to do. All right, this is almost done. Perfect. Move this laser out of the way. Turn this off for right now. I think I may have had my settings just a little too high. Let's check it out. I mean, honestly, the first try, I don't think that's terrible. If anything, I think I want to move the. Oop, helps if you can see it, right? I'm sitting here talking about it. Uh, so, which way do I go here? This way, this way, this way. Here we go. This piston came out pretty good. I could clean this up a little bit with the alcohol. The motorcycle, it's a little dark. I probably should have lowered the engrave on that quite a bit. The mountains came out decent. The engrave is a little bit deeper again, like the motorcycle. I could probably lighten that up a little bit. And I want to move these mountains up probably until it almost met the top of that, so that this horizon is almost in line with that. You know what? Maybe I should trace the motorcycle the same way I traced the piston. Just do a really thin cutout around and make it a little bit more delicate and get rid of all these weird lines. Um, and then I can even add more to the background, like the trees or the path or something like that. But overall, I mean, the gear came out pretty decent. It's a nice size, and for a only 3 layers, it looks very intricate. So you can kind of see how it's popping out. There we go. That's better. So let's rework this a little bit and see what we can fix. And then we'll cut it again. What I like too is I mean, it took 12 minutes. That's hardly anything. So This speed needs to be upped a little bit. So this was 6,000. Let's make it 7,000. Make this 50. So that'll cut down on that. Um, take this. Up. Let's just take both of these. Yeah, that's better right there. Alright, so that's good. But now let's fix this motorcycle one. Actually, I should have... That's my bad there. I should have... Let's see how far back we can go. Control Z. What's up? Oop, love bug season. Oh, I'm sitting here doing all this designing thinking you guys are watching. Eh, helps if I have the screen on, right? Alright, so we're going to ungroup this. Let's just change this from fill to line really quick, just so we can see everything that we've got going on. You know what, actually, I think I may just take a different one of these motorcycles then. Because this one has those kind of spears coming out. Let's see about this one here. Yeah, yeah, let's try this one here. Okay, that one looks okay. So let's get rid of this one for now. Just move this one over here. So let's change this from fill to line. We're going to ungroup this and choose the outermost line again. And we'll go to offset fill, outward. This together, we'll make this a fill again. So now I'm just going to vertically. I don't like that. I think this has to be off-centered a bit. I also don't really like how little material there is around, but it should, hopefully it'll come out decent. So let's see what that looks like. So we got the motorcycle. Alright, the piston is a good size. You can read motorcycles, so that's good size also. The only thing it's covering right here is a little bit of that wheel, which is okay. So if we make this just a little bit bigger. Okay, that's perfect. Let's just work on getting these layers squared away again. Okay. So what we want to do is take this, we're going to ungroup this. Okay, that'll get us cut out the right way. That's good. Let's just take some of these trees. Now the trees we can do at a different fill. So what did we say was 7,000? 7,050. All right, and for these trees, we could do 6,000. Let's do 6,030 for these guys. A couple of these over here. Put a couple of these over here. Also make that a fill. And again, we do want to get rid of that. Group these together. Group these together. This one, we want to ungroup this. just so we can grab this and do an offset, outset. Click OK. I change this to layer 0, 0. Take these two, group those together, and then take this outer, group that together. Now we can just group everything together. Now if we center all of these, it should be pretty close. The only one that's messing us up is this motorcycle one, but if we drag that down. Alright, so now we'll have our pistons, our motorcycles, a few trees. This should look a lot better. Just grab all of that. There we go. And then this blue layer we'd want as a fill. Leave that as 6,040. Okay, get rid of all of that. Okay, now the only thing left to do is add our little eyelid up here because I did delete that originally, so that 5, 5.5. Lock this into place. Vertically align that. Holding shift, we'll just drag that down. Then we'll do an offset on the inset. Click OK. Right click on group. 10 minutes this time. All right, let's turn this on. All right, there it goes. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I was doing the same. Um, but this is, and I'll make a tutorial on step by step on how I design this, because I haven't made any YouTube tutorials in quite some time. But I'm going to start getting back into that. So I'll make a tutorial where I sit down with LightBurn and go over every step and how to get this design made and cut. Figure out how to ease in with ornaments and then do more complex items later. I want to start incorporating the 3D printed items with the laser engraved items. I've seen a light box. Sure. I've seen a light box where it's more of a silhouette light box, so each layer like this, and then the back layer isn't filled, it's actually just open, and then you put the light, and then it gives you that shadow effect. So they step it like this almost, where each layer has a little bit of a gap between it. And I was thinking I could make that overall casing on a 3D printer instead of laser engraving. And of course, too, like any of these designs that I make, I'll offer to the school community first, and then I'll put them on the website for download so you guys can cut and try them out just to make sure everything works well. But I think this would be good coming up on motorcycle season. Well, at least here in Florida it is. eagles or owls. So I did a multi-layer eagle military design because I went to the American Legion and brought a lot of the American flags and stuff like that, and that worked out really well. But yeah, the are you trying to do more realistic or like a mosaic, or because somebody made a mosaic, I think, and they put it in the school community. I don't think it was a eagle or an owl. I think it was a parrot. I mean, really, the easy way to do that would probably either work with, gotcha, um, some more realistic. What I would start with would be like coloring pages and try to digitize those and then slice those up into different layers. Um, as like your foot in the door on how to slowly start getting into more realistic. So you may have to stick with a little bit of the cartoonish kind of to begin with, just to get familiar with doing the different layers. All right, so I think this turned out better now that I cut this speed power down. Yeah, I think that's looking a lot better. Not as much charring, which you could always clean up with the, no. AI is is good to use, but it's a little bit difficult. You have to make sure that your prompts are very clean, clear, and precise on what you're looking for. I used AI for some of my designs, and I use it more of like a jumping off point. This is what I want to do. Even this design here. Let me see. Let me pull up. I think I put it in the school community. Was the image that I used? That was all AI. I didn't do any of that. But I basically said I wanted to make a digital design. Here it is. Digital design of a motorcycle design. Download this. It's not. Doesn't seem to be working on the off of the school community post. I mean, I use AI a lot now, more than I did before, but like I said, you just have to be very cautious. Like the design I have is not as intricate as this. You could do that if you wanted to, but I just wanted something quick and easy that I could layer and get into. But if I try to tell it to give me the design for this so I can cut it out, it would fail easily. But some of the other designs, um, yeah, you just have to be very clear, and you're going to have to tweak it a bit. So as long as you're okay with modifying the designs. Yeah, yeah, it definitely has its place. It's coming a long way. It's getting better the more time that everybody uses it and refines it. All right, let's see. It says we've got 2 minutes left. But how does the AI in Xtool work? What do you have to pay for tokens? Because I used, what was the name of that? Algo. Algo Lasers had an AI prompt that really everything that it generated was not usable. You definitely couldn't cut anything. You could only usually engrave some of the images that it would create. So I noticed that that wasn't very refined. I wonder how Xtool is a little bit more polished of a brand than Algo, I believe, or at least on the user community. It looks good, but I have to be very clear on what I want. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, you just can't put in a motorcycle riding through the mountains prompt. You have to be very clear, especially with layers and things like that. So if you want to get more in depth, plus you also don't want to be creating the same thing that somebody else with the same prompt could be creating. Little different is okay, but usually you want to just try for something very unique. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't gotten into the resin fills yet. I haven't messed with that. I might want to get a small kit with a whole bunch of different colors that I can use to add the color to my projects. Right now, I'm just using those paint pens, which works out fine. So either I stain the wood or I just use those acrylic paint pens. All right, we are over by a minute and a half. That's the one bad thing. Sometimes it guesses on how long it's going to take to engrave, and sometimes it's wrong. UV resin works best as you have time to play with it than the others before. Yeah, see, I'd probably go with an A and B pour. But like I said, yeah, it would settle fast. So you have to be clear on what colors you want. I've used A and B resin before, um, but not for this. I've used it for potting electronics. So that's where I get the experience on getting the bubbles out because you want that nice sheen on top for potting the electronics. So usually what we get is a silicone cup or even an ice tray that has like the 4 or 6 cups. We put the electronics in there with the wires and leads coming out, pour it with the black potting epoxy, and then hit it with the heat gun or torch over top to get all the bubbles out. And then this way it basically is waterproofing the electronics. Yeah, I could believe that. That sounds about right. Yeah, 10 to 15 minutes pour time. It is very quick, I know that. And I could imagine, so if you're mixing A and B, mixing it up to make sure it's thoroughly mixed, then adding your color, making sure your color is right. If you have to add more pigment, it'll take even more time. Oh, I think I forgot to adjust my cut layer. Alright, so I had two mistakes. My mountains were set to line instead of fill, and my I really hope this works. No, I think my cut layer is going to be off. God damn it. It's off. Alright, let's stop that. Ah, that's terrible. All that time just flipping this on. Yeah, it happens. Oh, shoot. Yeah, I'm not sure what the difference between clear UV resin and regular UV resin. Is it just like super clear? Well, I think I turned my yep. Let me get my exhaust fan going. Hmm. That's what I would think. I would think it would probably be better for the wood. I wonder what the price difference is between it. Oh, nice. It's very cool. It's always great when you get sales. Today I had somebody sign up for my VIP school community. So that's pretty cool. Very exciting times. I gotta start getting back to making more 3D designs and laser designs and everything like that. Like I said, I'm gonna do the tutorial on how to make this Christmas ornament. So I'll put that on the. I like selling the digital items more than the physical, unless you're actually in person. I like it when I go to the craft shows and stuff like that, and you can see people and talk to people. It's a lot better than just having everything on a website, I think, or at least for me. All right, this is coming along nicely. This should probably finish up just about the same time that I'll have to tune off to go to the football game. Let me do this right now before I forget. Let's save this. I always like to save everything with Google Drive, so I have it on all my computers. Alright, about 2 minutes left. Hopefully this time I actually did remember to do the cut layer. Yep, it's all on there, so hopefully it cuts through. You know what? Now that I'm looking at this motorcycle too, probably could have done a lot of these different pieces and the different depths. Maybe I'll mess with that later. So I could make each item a little deeper. Try to give it that 3D look. I'll mess with that and I'll talk about that when I make the tutorial. Things like over here. Could be a little deeper. Nope. Microphone cut out. Is the sound not there anymore? It should still be there. Alright, I think that one looks a lot better. I think this could be maybe a little darker. But I think all the sizing is perfect. So that's just settings that you can clean up. And then you can change this motorcycle where it says motorcycles to Harley or Honda or somebody's name or anything like that. Yeah, this came out a lot better. I think it looks a lot cleaner. And I could go back there with the paint pen and fill in these pistons and make that gray. Or fill in the motorcycle and make it the color of the motorcycle. But I think this came out pretty well. So I'll make a tutorial, an in-depth tutorial on how we put this together. And then this way you can play it back. And also, I think maybe tomorrow I'll post the photo of this in the school community with the digital download so you guys can try to cut this out on your own. And yeah, 3D ornaments are very easy. I mean, you just have to think about the layering and find some great graphics. But it's about 8 o'clock, and I usually like to do these lives for about 2 hours, so I think that is going to be all for me for tonight. And I'll be back in 2 weeks for another live and another design. So if there's anything that you want to see designed, leave a note in the school community. I'm always open to suggestions. And I'll see you then. Jack, I'll check out some of your videos. I'm curious. We'll see if in 2 weeks I have my own light box made. Alright guys, I really appreciate you tuning in, and I will talk to you guys later. Take care, all. Yeah, it does definitely need a layer of walnut, that's for sure. A couple of different stains. I think that'll be perfect. Alright. Talk to you guys soon.